Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm John and I regularly post tutorials here on YouTube, mostly for ukulele and at all different levels. Today we're going to be having a quick look at what I believe is YouTube's greatest gift to anyone who is learning or already plays a musical instrument, the playback speed control. I'm sure you will have heard people say that when you're learning a new song or a new instrumental piece on your instrument, that the best way to learn it is to play it slowly first. When you can play it at that speed, try playing it a little faster, and when you have that down, slightly faster again, until you can play it at the speed of the original, or the speed that you want to play it at. Now if you're anything like me, when I'm learning a new cover song, the first place I go to listen to it is on YouTube, mainly because it's free and you can pretty much find anything there, no matter how obscure it is. Regardless of whether it's the original recording or a cover of the song, I'll generally try and play along with it on YouTube to get a better feel of the song's structure, its chords and its melody, etc. Now often, when I first come to a new song like this, the chord changes or the melody line might prove a little bit fast for me to be able to keep up with. And this is where YouTube's playback speed control is incredibly useful, because you can slow a video and hence its audio down to a speed that you can keep up with. But most importantly, you can do so without changing the pitch. Normally, if you were to slow down an audio track, the notes being played or sung would go down in pitch and would sound lower, and effectively be in a different key, or even somewhere between keys. And if you were to increase the audio speed, the pitch would go higher the more you speed it up, and eventually you'd sound something like Alvin and the Chipmunks. However, the YouTube speed playback control allows us to either slow down or speed up a video without changing the pitch of the audio. And as a musician, this allows us to be able to play along with a song at whatever speed we choose, but remain in the same key regardless. And this can be incredibly helpful both with playing along with the audio of a song, but perhaps also being able to watch a performance and see exactly what chords the musician is playing and whereabouts he or she is fretting their instrument on the fretboard whilst they're playing a solo. And believe me, I've spent many hours slowing YouTube videos down and trying to work out how a performer is playing a piece. So, how do we do this and where do we find this speed control? The good news is that you can use it on desktop and laptop computers, iPads and tablets, and iOS and Android phones. I don't personally have all these devices to hand, but if I firstly share my desktop on my computer here, and then I'll demonstrate how it would appear whilst watching YouTube in a browser, and then afterwards I'll share my phone screen with you and show you where you can find it there. I think iPad and Android tablets would be the same as phones if you're in the YouTube app. So hopefully you can now see my screen. I have YouTube open here in Google Chrome and I have one of my play along videos for a song called Sister Kate set up and ready to play. So if I first press play, and you'll be able to see and hear here that it's a relatively fast tempo song with some quite quick chord changes, for which I've kindly put the chord boxes on the screen so you don't have to try and work them out. Now if I just pause the video for a moment so that we have no distractions. In order to slow the video down, first I need to hover my mouse over the video, either while it's paused like this, or it will also work while the video is playing as well. And that will bring up this toolbar at the bottom of the video where I have the option to play the video again, or I can adjust the volume, etc. If you look over to the right of this bar, you'll see this little cogwheel. And then if you click on the cogwheel, it'll open a settings menu. And here we want to click where it says playback speed. Now you'll see that we have a tick here where it says normal, and this means the video is currently set to its normal speed. Above that we have the options of 0.75, so 3/4 of its normal speed, 0.5, which is half of its normal speed, and 0.25, which is 1/4 of its normal speed. And we could even go faster than the normal speed too. Generally, I very rarely use these options other than perhaps the 0.75 setting, as I find slowing it down much more than this isn't normally necessary. But above all these options you'll see that we have a custom option, where you can slow down or speed up the video in 5% increments. And generally I find this much more useful. So if I just start the video again, and then I try, say, 80%. If that's still too fast, maybe try it at 70%. Then, once you're comfortable playing at that speed, you could try it at a slightly faster tempo. And then maybe a bit faster again. But note here that I'm still singing and playing in the same key, which is why this is so useful. If you want a challenge, try it a little faster than the original. And you can hopefully still hear that the pitch is still the same. Even if I go to a ridiculously fast setting, the pitch doesn't change. So that's where you find the playback speed control on a desktop or a laptop computer watching YouTube in a web browser. It'll be the same or very similar for both Mac and PC. One warning though, remember to set the control back to normal when you've finished. Otherwise the next video you watch in the same session may well be set at the same speed that you were working at. If I now switch to me sharing my iPhone screen with you. So I'm now in the YouTube app on my phone, and this should look pretty much the same on both iOS and Android. Here I have another of my play along videos queued up and paused, and hopefully you can see that this time the cogwheel is now in the top right hand corner of the playback screen. If I just rotate my phone so everything is bigger on the screen and click on the cogwheel, you'll see that I have similar options to the desktop version with some set options along the bottom and a slider for the custom options. Again, you can make the adjustments to the video while the video is paused like so, or you can have the video already playing, and then by touching the screen you bring up the menu options again. Then by clicking on the cogwheel once again, you can now make adjustments whilst watching the video. Once again, remember to set the control back to normal when you've finished, otherwise the next video you watch on YouTube will be at the speed that you left the last one at. So that brings us to the end of this tutorial about the YouTube playback speed control. If it's something you didn't know about today, I hope that you'll go on to find it as useful as I do. If you did find this tutorial helpful or have any questions, please leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications for as and when I post a new video. If you feel like supporting my work here on YouTube, feel free to buy me a coffee, see how to do so in the video description below. Or alternatively, join me over at my Patreon site where all my tutorials and accompanying materials can be found in one place. The link for this can also be found in the video description below. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Bring me a dream, making the